Hey, good morning, parents and students. Thank you guys so much for joining us for our final week discussing this topic of evil and suffering. I hope you guys have enjoyed discovering and discussing this topic as much as I have in presenting it. I hope you guys can see it on my face. I really do love diving deep, hitting the books, diving deep into answering hard questions like this. Especially existential questions that have to do with God, right? And so I've really enjoyed this. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. So just as a review real quick, in the first week, I introduced this topic. So maybe you guys are in that boat where you're like, yeah, I've actually experienced, manifest evil. I can pinpoint, occasions in my life where I've seen the effects of evil and suffering, either in people around me or myself personally. Maybe you're in the boat where you're like, yeah, I really just don't see it all that often in my own life, except when I turn on the TV, whenever I open up social media. Maybe you were like me when I was in high school, and I was just completely oblivious to everything. Like if it didn't pertain to basketball, my job, or my family, then it just kind of went right over my head. Maybe you're in that boat, I don't know. Anyway, so I shared some of my experiences with evil and suffering throughout my travels all around the world. And I gotta tell you, experiencing it firsthand, it really opens up your eyes to the everyday reality of people suffering the effects of evil all around us. And when that happened to me, I realized to some extent the depths of evil and suffering in our world, and it inevitably caused me to ask really, really hard questions. And I hope I hope that you guys have kind of gone through that as well. You see this, you see evil and suffering at work around you, and it really pulls you into asking these deep questions and not shying away from the questions or the answers. Because let's be honest, guys, God is big enough to handle our questions. Let's not shy away from asking hard questions. God can handle that. And so that led us into week 2, considering explanations to our questions about God and our questions about evil, and working really to reconcile the existence of both the God of the Bible with with evil and suffering in our world. So after working through our hard questions, our fundamental foundational questions, we then get a sense of direction and start asking more pointed questions, right? Questions in a more specific direction. Take this for example, all right? Now that we have reconciled the two realities, so the God of the Bible does exist, okay, with the reality of evil and suffering, okay? So now that we've reconciled those two realities, they don't disprove each other, or they don't cancel each other out. So now that we've reconciled those two, what do we do about it? That's really the ultimate question, right? We come to a conclusion, but it's kind of a fake conclusion, because really it leads us into another question. What do we do about it? What's our responsibility? What does God desire and require of us? So for the majority of our time today, I want us to really wrestle with this, okay? What do we do? I want us to reflect on last week. I want us to reflect on week 1, week 2. I want us to pray. I want us to listen, and then pray some more, and then respond, and then pray some more. You see where I'm going with this? This is going to be a time of worship and a time of prayer, a time of reflection, listening to what God has to say and responding, okay? So let's pray. Let's start by praying first. Thanking God for his grace over us and our lives here on planet Earth. Let's pray that he would be with us and work in us as we reflect on the last few weeks and become more attentive and aware of his direction, especially as we listen and as he speaks.